Youth in Government has a numerous amount of program areas, and today we are covering Senate. So the real question here is, what is Senate?
Hi, my name is Colin Davidson, and I am your Lieutenant Governor.
So Senate is defined as an assembly or council of citizens having the highest deliberative functions in the government. But is that really all Senate is to you?
Definitely not. I think more than, the Senate's kind of a metaphor more than anything. And I think it's just sort of one means of expressing yourself. In this program, there's so many different program areas, and what's important isn't exactly what we do, but it's how we go about it. And so to me, the Senate is less about, the structure of an actual Senate and more about what we're emulating, which is democracy and self-expression.
What do you believe is a critical factor in the Senate that is different from Assembly?
The color scheme, for sure. No, the Senate and the Assembly are sisters for a reason. In essence, they're basically identical. The person who's running it, the difference in their personality can definitely influence the mood of the room, but past that, we're working towards the same thing.
How do you preside over different sessions?
I try to keep everything the same. It's kind of hard. It's harder not to get distracted in the Capitol because you're tempted to just stare at everything because it's so gorgeous. And some sessions are busier than others, but in general, it's pretty through and through.
Can you suggest some ways a student could obtain this necessary experience?
Like in the Senate?
Yeah.
Well, okay, speak up is the most important thing. There are so many times where there are people who from the podium, I can see on their faces that they're passionate about the issue and they have an opinion and they want to share it. Because, they'll quirk an eyebrow or they'll frown or they'll smirk or something. And those are the shy kids, and I know that they're the ones who are the most thoughtful, but they just need to get past that barrier that's stopping them from speaking, because I know that if they did, then they would be some of the brightest minds in the room.
Were you in Senate for Forum?
I was not. This is only my second year in the program, and I'm a senior. So, shut up, Mom. So last year I joined as a bill sponsor, which was actually completely accidental. My delegation was like, hey, we need some bills, and I was like, here's a couple ideas, and you need to write it. I was like, okay. And I didn't realize that if you write a bill, you're pretty much automatically drafted into Senate or Assembly. I was pulled into Senate, and then the rest is history. Yeah, been here ever since. Like my experience last year versus this year? I addressed this at the very beginning, the swearing-in ceremony, but I said the craziest thing was I walked in and I felt like the same exact person, and then Ryan, who's kind of the head honcho of the Senate, or one of the head honchos, beckoned forward and was like, hey, come up here, and I just realized the difference between literally last year and this year was 10 feet. You know what I mean? It was feeling like I deserved to be up on that podium, or that I had maybe earned it, but in reality, same person as last year. And I hope kids realize that, because it's so easy to look at elected officers and to feel like there's this prestige or this elitism about it, but there isn't. We're all delegates.